Okay, today we're doing the floorboards out of my boat. So this one's got vinyl on it on one side and it's gone ratty on the bottom. You can see how the plywood's all cracked and it's actually gone furry on this side. So we've just run the router around it, roughened it up, cleaned her up, and we'll sand all this and we're going to hit it with Flo-Cote. So this is the one from up forward in my boat and we'll do the same to it as well. And they'll look like $1 million. We'll hit them up with Flo-Cote once we clean them up. So stand by. Okay, I've now sanded our boards and I've taped the back edge, the opposite side that I don't want to coat. So if you have a look, so all sanded, you'll see this area is a bit rough. You know, there's gaps and that. So I've now mixed up the Flo-Cote. This is them here, part A and part B equal mix. Notice I got paint tin pourers. They make life so much easier. Don't get paint or epoxy in the grooves. I put 50 and 50 mil of resin, 50 mil of hardener, mix them together, and now we'll get into the painting. So I'll do the edges first and then the faces. Let's go to town on it and you'll see the difference. A couple of coats of this will make these look like $1 million. First coat of Flo-Cote applied. So it's the boat coat epoxy Flo-Cote. I've applied it to all surfaces. I put some underneath this and I screwed the top bracket back on and then Flo-Coated over the top, so that's all glued together. So around the sides and looking good. So that's our first coat. I'm going to disappear now. I'm going to go and see about model yacht racing at Rancer, and I'll come back and I'll put another coat on when I get back, so I can put the next coat on anywhere between when it's sticky, gelled, and when it's green. So it means it's no longer sticky, but it's still soft. So I've got plenty of time to get a second coat on. I've whacked it on nice and thick, so I put a first coat on, just slapped it on with a brush, like so. This little fella, just a 1-inch brush in around the sides and that. Then I went all over the surface just roughly with it. Then I got a 2-inch foam brush and I went over it and I put a nice thick liberal coat on and just slightly spread it up out over the surface. And that's the result we got. By the time we get a second coat on that, it'll be and it'll set as tough as nails by Thursday, Friday. I'll be able to whack them back in Friday arvo and go sailing. Our first coat's been sitting on there for about 4 hours now. Still a little bit sticky. You can see that, very sticky. And we'll throw another coat over the top. This will look like $1 million. See, we've still got some lines and that in it. But by the time I put another coat on, it'll look beautiful. Here we are a day and a half later, and with 2 coats on, it's still a little soft, but it'll harden up over 3 or 4 days. We've densified the timber where it had gone all furry. You can see a few marks, but that's fine. And looking good. So the next step is to pull the tape off. So what I've done here, I've run a sharp bladed knife along this edge, and then we just pull it away. And once you do that, you can pull a whole lot away. So we'll get a little bit of video of doing that. So what you do, you just cut through until you're just cutting through the tape with a shallow angle, and just run your blade along. Because the epoxy has set the tape off, it makes it quite solid. We just had a join there. We've got a double thickness of tape, so it's just pulling away. And just cut him away like so. Let's get past this. We've got a whole heap of layers of tape sitting here, so it's affecting things a bit. But once you get past it, come on, get him down there. And just start him off again. Away you go. Notice it works better when you've got thicker pieces of paint like this than where it's fairly thin. So don't be worried about letting it run around the edge and end up with an edge like that, because it actually makes it easier to cut the tape away. And that's all there is to it. So once I've finished, got it all back together, I'll show you how beautiful it looks. Where you get a little bit of paint left, where it's thin, just get the blunt side of the blade and just drag it along. That'll also, and if you get a bit of paint on the surface like this, because this is a vinyl, so this has got vinyl flooring, the paint doesn't want to stick to it anyway, so you can if there's a little bit of paint seeped under your tape, you can clean it off anyway. See how that's coming up? So you make it look beautiful. And now all we do now that we got to there, just pull your tape away. Around here. There we are. See, we've got a little bit of paint here. That's all you do to clean that off. Just get your blade on the flat edge. And it's gone in there because of the groove. I'm going to re-groove these and put a bit of black fixed tech in there anyway, and that'll get rid of that. This one here. This is just glue, I think. Oh, might be a bit of paint. There, see how it comes off? Whammo.